Hey, my name is Bailey Weiser. I'm the owner of Hello Jude Photography, a North Georgia newborn and family photography studio, and welcome to my channel. Today, I'm gonna walk you through some of my favorite go-to playful posing prompts that I give families during sessions, whether it's a family session outside or in studio or a newborn session. So I'm gonna walk you through each of these images, kind of talk to you how I get to the specific pose or this prompt, how I encourage them to play and to interact so that we can have a variety of images in their gallery that are both posed and lifestyle. So let's dive in. So we're gonna go ahead and dive in. I have lots of prompts that I wanna share with you, but this first one is probably one of my favorites. This is the upside down prompt. So whether or not you're holding a kid upside down, they're doing a handstand, you're spinning with them upside down, we're doing upside down tickles, anything like that. If you can get them to go upside down, whether it's on their own or you are helping them by holding them, we can get some really fun, laughing images of these kids. This is when we get the really big belly laughs and you see all the teeth and all the expression. Now, whether it's completely upside down or just sideways, whether we're holding by the feet or they're doing a handstand, anything like that, if we can encourage them to just go upside down, the hair flies, the mouth goes open, the laughter happens, and you get some really fun images, especially if you can connect siblings in and invite them to give tickles or to blow raspberries or anything like that. These are some of my favorite images. Just about every single session I do one of these prompts, especially if there's a toddler involved, and they're always some of my favorite photos. The next prompt is to fly. So whether it's to go up, to go in circles, you can create levels with this. So mom can go low holding one sibling and dad can hold the other sibling, and they Superman over to the other and try to tickle one another. We can fly up in the air. We can be held and fly in circles, anything like that where you're encouraging them. Again, movement creates a lot of laughter, especially when you have lots of kids. This is how we're gonna get those really fun, creative levels with our photos too. So you can see in this middle image how she's up, and so your eye immediately is drawn up. In this image on the left, if I had mom kind of squat or sit down with little sister and then big sister flew down to her, that'd be another way to create levels. It draws your eyes to multiple areas in each photo if you can create levels, and flying is a great way to do that. We don't want to forget the details, and so I absolutely love getting shots of hands touching and holding. Maybe we're tickling toes, maybe we're holding fingers, maybe we're grasping something, especially if we've got toddlers or newborns that are grasping. I love the detail photos. I love the hands on the bottom as far as like mom holding babies on their hip, because we all know that does not last long. So anytime that I have mom holding someone on their hip, I try to get an image of that because I think that's just so sweet. Holding hands, tickling toes, babies' hands or toddlers' hands touching babies, all of those things. Those are really sweet, playful images that you don't have to really prompt too much for. You just capture those as they're happening within the other prompts. We all love a good walking shot, especially when we've got little ones involved that want to run or explore. Asking them to kind of connect together and walk in one central direction is a great way to have wider images as well. I also love to encourage parents to swing kids or spin kids, maybe bump hips, maybe chase each other, play tag, all of those things. I also really like having mom and dad hold a blanket and having the kids run underneath them. That's another really fun prompt to give. This middle photo right here, I do have this entire session behind the scenes. I will link right here as well. The next one is to encourage them to explore and use whatever is around them. So if you're outside, whether you're at the beach playing in the sand, you're in a field of wildflowers and we're picking dandelions, you see a fallen tree and you encourage them to, walk on it like walking the plank, anything like that. If there's a swing outside, encourage them to swing. Just get them involved in their surroundings. These are some of the sweetest little lifestyle images where they're in their own world and exploring what's around them. And you get to see a lot of these kids' personalities just in the way that they are curious. Along those lines, I always encourage kids to be kids during their session. So if they want to stick their tongues out at their siblings, if they want to play Ring Around the Rosie or Red Light, Green Light, anything like that. If I need to pull out a balloon or a rattle or a car or some blocks and just let them play, I'm definitely going to encourage that. The next one we have is what I call story time. This is another really sweet one. And this is kind of when we need a minute to just wind down. If we have had tears at all during this session, this is a great one to kind of segue us back into photos without having to sit at a camera and smile. For this one, generally, if I have kids who are old enough to understand, I'll ask them questions like, what's your favorite animal? What's your favorite color? And so we'll come up with this crazy theme. So like, for example, favorite animal is a giraffe. I love the color pink. So this is going to be a pink giraffe. Now, what does a pink giraffe like to eat? The pink giraffe likes to eat spaghetti. And so I'll encourage mom and dad to take turns telling parts of a story that they're making up on the spot to engage the kids and get them to laugh and get them to snuggle. And you're just following their lead and speaking their love language. And so these are slower moments in the session where I kind of just sit back and let the parents have a really genuine moment with their kids. Sometimes the stories come really naturally and the kids would like to chime in. Sometimes it's a little bit harder. And usually when it's harder, there's a lot more laughter because the parents are struggling to think of a theme or what happens next. But either way, I love how these images turn out. They're always really sweet, still moments in the midst of a very chaotic session. So this is a great segue if you just need to take a breath. Or another great thing to do if you're out of prompts and you have to think for a minute, plop them down, encourage them to tell a story, give them some guidelines so they're not just kind of like shooting in the dark. But if you give them some guidelines and say, hey, why don't you tell a story about this? Or get the kids' input or do a mad gab or whatever, you can kind of sit back, take some photos and regroup yourself and think of some more prompts to move forward. Puppets is another one of my favorite ones. Whether it's just one child or multiple kids, I like to encourage them to play puppets. And the way that I present this is either a parent holds a child's hands or one child holds another child's hands, and they are in charge of making their hands move. So they can make them swim, they can make them fly, they can tickle their tummy, they can pick their own boogers, they can make them do a silly dance, whatever they want. This is one that always gets some really fun laughter out of kids. Sometimes it's not as good of a picture. I usually don't take pictures of it, but sometimes I reverse the roles and let the parents be the puppet and let the kids dictate what they do. A lot of times parents are blocking the kids' faces, but even if I don't document it, it still gets some laughter. Snuggling is great no matter what session it is, whether it's a newborn, a milestone, an outdoor, an indoor, a studio, an in-home, whatever it is, taking a minute to snuggle is great. I get a lot of snuggle shots while I'm doing story time too. But these are just sweet little moments where I encourage them to just stop and to snuggle in, to give hugs, maybe give kisses on the cheek, anything like that that's encouraging them to get close to one another. We like to make sandwiches with kids. So if we've got maybe the smallest kid or maybe if there's only one child, we try and get the parents to do a little sandwich and put them in the middle and squeeze them as hard as they can. Tickling is also a good classic, especially if you've got multiple kids. They all love to give each other tickles. Some are more reactive than others, but I do love a good tickle shot. Again, if I can focus in on one child, like this photo in the middle is one of my favorites because this little girl is so ticklish and everyone was taking turns giving her tickles and she has the biggest smile on her face. So if you can focus in on one child, encourage everyone to tickle that one child and then switch kids. Use different levels with this too, like someone can tickle the toes, someone can tickle the ears, someone can tickle the tummy, and just getting a lot of variety in the detail photos with that too would be really good. Dancing and spinning. This is a great one if you've got kids that love music or that are really active. Encourage parents to hold them or to twirl them. Put on their favorite song if they're really into Encanto or Mickey Mouse or the Spider-Man theme song or whatever it is. Put on some music, let them dance, let them run around. So you can do the silliest dance. And, sometimes I ask the kids, who dances better, mom or dad? And like, have a little family dance battle, play the floor is lava, anything like that that can get them moving and interacting, get their focus off of the camera. Because a lot of times when I encourage kids to just sit and smile at the camera, we don't get genuine smiles. Anytime I put on some music, guarantee we're going to get some genuine smiles. Shoulders. So whether it's kids on kids' shoulders, kids on parents' shoulders, I think another great way to add dimension and levels to your images is to encourage people to get on each other's shoulders. And so for the one on the left, I had mom lift baby sister up. Middle sister is kissing baby sister on the cheek. Thought that was really sweet. And then on the right, we've got mom and dad smooching and big brother's watching from above. Little brother is not happy about it. And in the middle, I had kids get on other kids' shoulders with the help of dad. We want to make sure we're doing everything safe. And lastly, but not least, I love a good nose boop or a head hug. And so whether it's Eskimo kisses or butterfly kisses or just telling them, hey, bump noses or rest your foreheads together, give a little snuggle that way. These always get some really sweet, tender moments. Especially when mom is involved. I love asking mom to sit on her knees to get on the kids' levels and then having the kids run up to her and give her Eskimo kisses. I have a photo like that with one of my kids and it's one of my favorites. And so it's one that I like to recreate as a mom, photographing other moms, knowing that it's a special moment that you can have documented. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave any comments down below if you have any questions about what you saw in today's video, or if you had any questions about my settings or any of the things that I discussed today. Be sure to be on the lookout for new videos being added every week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.